Our group was looking at how to engage with hard-to-reach people, and we were particularly interested, or some of us were particularly interested in elderly members of the community. We looked at all sorts of stuff. We went off down all sorts of avenues, and we were trying to work out why they're hard to reach, and whether in fact they're hard to reach, or whether the service is hard to reach for them. And we covered all sorts of different things about whether we could make use of existing venues like schools and village halls and things like that to encourage self-organising groups. We considered whether you can have, I don't know how to describe it, but a sort of a profile that says, I'm interested in rugby, which came up repeatedly, and I'm interested in cookery and things like that. And whether you can spot opportunities for groups to form in your locality, whatever that might be. You can set a radius on that. But the thing we actually came back to, and this is Leanne's idea, I'm only responsible, wherever she is the learning bus. Was it the learning bus? I think it was the learning bus. Yeah. Which is not at all what I was expecting. But the idea is that we talk to bus companies, public services. So I think Leanne's with Kent Fire Service. So anybody that's got a public service type message that they want to put out, and we put on existing. Sorry, can you see? We put on existing bus routes some entertainment, so some sort of fun element to it. So I think it was Carl suggested a poet might sit on the bus on your way to school or work or whatever it is, and just read you some poetry. And each thing was sponsored, in a sense, by public service or by a group that wants to talk to you about something and wants you to actually engage in what they're interested in. So we looked at bus services might be interested because the social responsibility aspect. They get some extra custom. They get a lot of free advertising because this is the sort of thing that we think local media in particular would just gobble up. The idea of some crazy loon on a bus talking to you about something and reading you poetry. Public services, they get a captive audience of people that are potentially hard to reach because people like the elderly are quite likely to be bus service users. They get free bus passes, so it's quite likely that they travel on bus services more than your average citizen might do. But we're hoping the bus service can actually give us information about that, about what sort of routes this might be effective on and how many passengers a particular route has. Where did we get to? So the passengers, they'd have a more interesting journey. They get some community information, and it might be Kent Fire Service saying, "Oh, check your smoke alarm." It might be somebody that's a really keen gardener and they want to encourage other gardeners in the area, or they want to set up a group to go and visit local gardens, stately home gardens, things like that, and actually have a group come out of this. I'm afraid I don't remember what lifelong learning opportunities was. And then we might also have a destination somewhere along the route, or perhaps at the end of it, a destination relevant to one of the topics that's been talked about. So that's a pond in Westram that was Dave's thing. But something where something's happening in the local community, or something relevant to the journey and the topics that have been discussed on there. You could stop and a group might form there just to discuss the topics further. So what next? Stakeholders, we need to talk to the bus company. I can't remember who it was, but somebody said they're already aware that the bus company are very interested in doing these sorts of things. We need to talk to public services about who might be interested in doing a pitch on the bus. Parish councils, arts groups, there's all sorts of community groups, and passengers themselves could say, actually, that was really interesting, I want to do a talk on cookery. Cookery might not be a good one for a bus journey, but so in a sense, it's a bus journey. But you get on it, you talk to people, it's entertaining, it's informational, educational. You might be invited to get off at a venue or some sort of event. And we thought we could start by doing a trial run, so we just get a route and we put something on it and see what the reaction is. And then, thank you, Debbie. So developments, we work out what routes, again I can't remember who it was, I'm afraid, but there was the talk of pockets of smokers, heavy smokers, I believe. So you might say on a particular route where they've got a particular social issue, you can talk about a particular relevant topic. You might theme routes, so you might have Poetry Week. Could allow passengers to vote for subjects that they want to hear about or that they want to present themselves. And it could be done by stops. So if you're going on a journey with several stops, some of them will be further apart than others. So people could book a slot on the journey and say, okay, that's a 6-minute part of the journey, so you can have 6 minutes to talk about whatever your topic is. But if you don't need so long, there'll be shorter stops on most journeys. And then we can add value. We can link to websites so people can get more information on that particular speaker or that topic, or all sorts of ways you can expand on it.